Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Real Talk with Ben podcast, and I delivered as I promised. I didn't really promise, but I said I would. We have Misi, one of my true friends here from Hungary, one of my longest friends from Hungary. My dad probably will claim that he's known you longer, but it's my dad.
It's true.
He's a punk. But anyways, Misi and I have talked about this for, months when I originally arrived, but then we never COVID, that stuff. But yeah, I am so glad that he's on the podcast. Again, so Misi, why don't you introduce yourself, kind of what you're doing in Hungary, why you serve here and something like that.
Yeah. First, thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely.
My name is Misi, and what do I do here?
Yes.
I'm training to lick my elbow. This is the furthest I got. So that's why I'm here. I'm training to lick my elbow.
If they're watching, they totally get it. If they're listening, they have no clue what you're doing.
I mean, I'll try to.
So
if you're listening, if you're just listening, I'm like. So it's not the sound of someone licking the elbow. It's someone trying to lick their elbow.
Nasty grossness. But, it is what it is.
Probably this will be the least listened and watched.
Most likely.
I think so.
Of all time, of all my videos. We might get like 2, and it might be me twice.
Yes.
Anyways, so what are you doing here in Hungary? Well, you are Hungarian, so
yes.
But what are you doing serving here?
I'm living here.
That is true.
Yeah, I try to make a living. And I've heard that missionary job is not so hard and people give you money and stuff. So I'm like, yay, it's easy. It's free money and I can enjoy it. So missionary life, yay.
Oh.
No, that's not.
No, it's not. This is his humor, though. This is the Misi that all the campers love. This is who we love.
Most campers.
There's a few
not
that
everybody.
just don't like.
Yeah, I met 2 this summer who didn't like me.
That's fine. It's 2 out of.
They're no longer
It's
our
200,
campers.
770. So
I'll send them home.
Anyways, so you serve in camp.
Yes.
So you serve in camp. You're kind of we don't really have a title. It's just the program guy. So if basically
it's a title, it's Misi.
It's Misi.
Yes.
So for especially those in America. So if you haven't been here, he's the program director, or what I like to call. He does all the fun stuff. So the games, the skits. Which, by the way, the skits were magnificent this year. There's one wonderful. Especially that I love, which was the music one.
Yes.
Which it's kind of, even if I would post it's in Hungarian, but basically it's a different genre of music.
No,
right?
No. So basically, it's about the whole thing is trying to play how movies are recorded and made
with the director.
With the director and like how. At the scene when it's happening, the director is like, I don't like it this way. Yeah, let's do it another way. And it's how it's just quickly could be changed. I have no idea. I've never been in film industry.
He could be.
I could be. I mean, I have.
You have. There's a whole series.
Yeah, no professional. And so the whole thing is first we just do it like awkwardly and here's this thing. And the whole thing is about there's a hot dog stand. Hot dog stand? Yeah.
Yeah, hot dog, like a hot dog cart.
Whatever. Yeah, and there's this lady, she's giving out hot dogs for people, and hey, here's the hot dog, it makes you happy. And I'm the one of man. The old man is like, hey, give me a hot dog, and I eat the hot dog, and I die, and then the ambulance come in, and then they say, well, the hot dog was spoiled, so that's why he died. And basically, the director is just like, okay, cut. I don't like it.
Which is Adam, which is funny because that's kind of, he's the director anyways of camp, so it's kind of funny.
And he's like, okay, cut. I don't like it this way. Let's be more dramatic. Let's do Mexican soap opera. And then we redo the same thing, putting in elements.
And you guys don't have clue of what it's going to be.
Yes.
You know what they are, but you don't know what order, do you?
Yes, we do.
Do you know the order?
I mean, last week he changed 2 of them, which was still funny.
Yeah.
But mainly it was the same.
The best is, Misi's great because he's trying to, I have multiple photos and videos that I probably will post at some point of him trying to keep it together while he's on the ground. Especially it's hard when they were outside because everyone's looking down at you.
Yes.
When you're on the stage, it's a little easier to kind of hide behind that laughter. But he's sitting there like,
I'm just trying to cover my
because
food.
Donnie, who's the main ambulance guy, he knew, like, you can just see it in his eyes. He knows Mishi is just vulnerable to anything stupid. And so Donnie would always make it so dramatic and so out there, especially the opera. The opera by far is my favorite. Yes. Just the way, I mean, Donnie can sing. So adding that, like, let's be honest, the rest of you, it's kind of like,
Of course.
But Donnie just is great. But that's so, like, those are the things he does. And I think even like my dad would tell me from the first time he met you, I mean, you were an intern at that time. You were kind of learning that.
Not even intern. I don't think just a volunteer.
You were helping at that time. And then slowly you gained and everything, and you started getting more experience. And I think it's really cool because I know, like, and a lot of us, especially there from America, we've been to camps. You know, you growing up, you go to camps. I never really went to camps. But I think here the big thing is you add your own personality to it, which I think is something that's really cool. And so for anybody who wants to know, like, what does Mishi do? Like, he's a missionary. And I think what's so cool is, like, you don't see it necessarily as, you know, a job or as something that is
maybe I should.
You should.
Maybe I should.
But I think I even see it the same way, like when I'm doing editing or when I'm doing, you know, things like that. When I was doing sports coordinator, is like, it's something you love to do.
Yeah.
So why is that? That's just something you love to do.
Yeah. I feel like I'm cheating. It's like I'm enjoying life and I get paid for it.
Yeah.
Like, how is this fair?
I know, and it's so cool. And I guess too, I kind of forgot to say this at the beginning of the episode, but, you know, if you're new, my name's Ben. This is my podcast.
I think it's too late for now.
I know, but I still want to add that.
I think they already
clicked
away.
Yeah, still though. This is my podcast.
So
if
it's
you
probably
love
just the people who listen to you already.
True. Anyways.
So this is Ben.
Yeah.
Actually, this is my podcast. Hi, my name is Mishi.
This is Real Talk with Ben.
Yes.
But in parentheses, Mishi.
Yes, it's actually me.
But no. Anyways, I just forgot and it drives me nuts. But anyways, that's beside the point. But no, the cool thing...
You can cut it.
No, I can't. I just keep this... this all one thing, you know?
So I'm not allowed to say things that I will regret later on?
I mean, you could, but then I might just leave... I don't know.
You should have told me in the beginning. Okay.
No, that's... Anyways. No, Mishi is one of these guys that I know I truly have loved to get to know. They spent 2 weeks. You spent 2 weeks in America with me, myself, personally, and then my parents 2 weeks support raising, which we'll get to that near the end of the episode itself. But I think it was really cool because you got to experience kind of like what it was like to be a college student.
Yep.
But not from like the student perspective. And you got to experience that kind of thing. I do want to point out that I remember when he arrived, we went to pick him up at the airport. Mishi was one of the most mad individuals you will ever run into at an airport. This guy gets, first off, is dead tired. Mishi, when he's tired, is not a guy you want to be around. It's just, It's scary. I'm worried for many people.
I'm not. I hate them.
But the crazy part about it is that he lost it, or it wasn't lost.
I did not lost my suitcase.
They lost. Yes.
They lost it.
Yeah, and so he went, and I think you had to get, like, he was going to get delivered to my parents' house or something like that. Anyway, so we get to my place really late. Mishi doesn't even fold out the bed. He just crashes on the couch. Donnie's like, okay, so is there anything we need to know before we go to school? Donnie's trying to be like this nice. Mishi's just like, yeah, screw that.
Good night, people.
But no, I will say, though, that it was one of the coolest things to have you guys there. There was just so many amazing moments. What were some of the favorite moments from you spending time at Cedarville? Because a lot of these people that listen, that went to Cedarville. So what was your favorite part of just being a part of that culture at Cedarville when you were there?
Trying to remember like most things that happened and pick my favorite. I'd say the church service.
Yeah.
Was like one of the greatest things.
Yeah. Just like the everyday, like seeing that.
Yeah, just seeing a bunch of Christians gathering together and worship and listening to the word of God.
Yeah.
I think it's always a great thing, and I think,
but especially at a college level, I think.
Yeah,
and that's what always gets us. I mean, you heard it when you were there. Like they talk the heartbeat of campus, but I mean, it is like at 10 o'clock each day, you're required to go.
Yep.
And I think you even said something to me. I think when you got back from the trip, when you got back to Hungary, you said like it was the people. Like just being around people your age,
Yep.
and that are just as on fire as you are for the gospel.
Not as much.
Not as much, yes, but
close
close
enough.
And I just remember the welcoming you got, and I think this is what's so cool about, I think especially Donnie and himself, of just they just came in. It wasn't like they were trying to be missionaries, you know, like you just wanted to be students. You wanted to be a part of the you know, of what you were doing. Like, yeah, you were there to raise support, but you guys knew, and I remember you guys talking about this. You knew that you might not raise a lot of support, but you knew that you're building foundations for the years to come. Yep. I know that because of you guys going there, we had a Cedarville team come to Word Life Hungary last year.
Yeah, because
Dear Lord, don't even start. I've been working on that. Okay, side story, and I probably talked about this on the podcast before. I started for 4 years. I had consistently been like, we need to get a team to Word Life Hungary. Our director of outreach at Cedarville like lived in Hungary. He had done stuff in Hungary ministry wise. I'm like, hey, we haven't had a team from Cedarville in a very long time, for years. Okay. So I was like, okay, we're going to have lunch with this guy. We're just going to like let them get to know him. You know, we find out one that Donnie and him live not too far from each other. Yep. And then literally by the end of it, they're like, oh,
it's like a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we'll get a team ready. We'll get Lauren Kuhn. We'll probably get him. And I'm like, what? So you're telling me that all I had to do was get these dudes over here and we could have a team there 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And obviously this year we couldn't have one just because of COVID and everything, but
hopefully next year.
But I really think that's what's been so cool, I think, with just, I think what I've seen from, you know, doing ministry now alongside of you, but even before that, when I would come over here for, you know, the 7 years I've been coming here, every time I would come, you know, there's that relationship that you build with campers, with staff, with Americans that come over here. Do you think that has been a big part of your ministry and how you think God's really been able to use you, is just building those relationships, whether it is in the States, whether it's here in Hungary? Do you think that's been a big part of the way you've kind of been able to grow in your ministry?
Well, I think not really. Mm-hmm. I think, and I really hope I don't sound arrogant.
No.
I just try to
go ahead.
Know myself and explain how I work when I can. Yeah. I'm a really interesting person.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't even know what I'm thinking about and like, how do I work? But I think it's my genuine honesty to people in the first hand that helps me build relationships. Yeah. But and not just it just happens. Like I don't build relationships. I'm just open and honest with people, and they're just drawn to spend time with me and hang out with me.
Well, you're open and honest.
Yes, open in a sense that of course I'm not gonna tell all the struggles and fears and everything, but I'm open. I'm
willing
honest.
To get to know them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, before the relationship building, that's like the big key thing. Yeah. And that's what I see in ministry being the most useful thing, is just being honest.
Yeah, I think even it was kind of funny too, is like, and when he was in the States with me, like when we get to know, it was like magic tricks was like the way he would get to know them, or talking a joke, or even like when you served on our alt night and you would carry things for people and you would do things that I think people get shocked because they're thinking, wait, why is he doing this? And I think that opens up that door. And I've noticed that even in my ministry, when I was raising support, was like, they just want you to know, like they want to know that you care, and they want to know that you're not just this arrogant person that wants to just do ministry but don't care about them. And I think that's what's so cool, is your wantingness to, you know, pray for them, to have a team aspect. I think that's what you call it. You always call it a team, and that you have these people
and just help. That's my big thing.
That's ministry, is helping
help people, and wherever. Yeah, like,
wherever
I'm not
God
tied
takes you
to a place. I serve here, of course, but
wherever you go,
it's not a job. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
and it has to be a lifestyle, because that's when. Yeah, like we're Christians. I believe everybody's a missionary to some degree. Maybe somebody is not working as a missionary, but you are a missionary. Yeah, it's like you're a servant of God. And
it's even like what, you know, like my dad always says. It's not what you say necessarily. It's not, you know, how big your budget is or anything. It's where God has placed you, your actions, and how you're living out for God's word. And I think that's what I think made it such an impression on me for Misi. First off, I mean, I remember my dad said when he first met you, you didn't speak a lot of English, barely at all.
Yeah.
But just even that itself, like you grew in that. Now you're able to relate to more people. You're able to talk with more people, and just your willingness. And it's sometimes hard, I guess, on a podcast especially, or even in a video. But like if you guys ever do interact with him, or if you have interacted with Misha, you know that the guy can go from being that goofy guy that loves having fun, but he can have those deep conversations. I know I've had them. And I think that's such a key in ministry, is especially when you're doing youth. And I've noticed that even with sports, like I knew, okay, when I needed to be fun and loving, but also when I needed to be like, okay, we need to actually like, let's fix this, or whatever. And I think that's really key for you as well. And I think I want to keep on this ministry topic, but I know you guys started a podcast for Hungarians. Yeah.
Sorry, people.
Yeah, but for Hungarians. And how has that gone? How is it kind of in that response? I know I've kind of been around it, so I've seen kind of the response, but how would you say that's gone in that new age of using media, and especially during COVID and stuff like that?
I need to look at this statistics, but it just blew our minds how popular it got. We were like, yeah, if we have like 50 people listening every episode, that's like a good thing, like 50 people. But I think the average is like 150.
Wow.
And like the first episode, we had like 500 people listen, and I think like all together it's like 4,000. Like, yeah, maybe again I need to look at the statistics, but
it's just it's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it pains me a little bit, but I'm happy that there is a big need for it.
Yeah, there is, because
we specifically aim at topics that churches don't talk about, and. Sorry, most churches.
Yes, most churches. Yeah,
I like to generalize, and I usually at the two ends.
Yeah,
either nobody's good or everybody's good.
But and I think too, obviously, like I've been able to like they talk to me about what they're talking about in each one, and I'm able to even hear the campers and people that are really excited about it. And like it's the same thing for me. Like when I remember when like I would look at the stats, or I would see an episode like when I talked about my testimony and see how much that like people listen to that. And I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the big things that we're missing is, I think media, because every youth is on media.
Yep.
And I feel like it's such a missed opportunity in that. And like, that's again why I do this podcast. That's why I do my YouTube channel. It's not necessarily to just for myself. I saw that as like, I'm a guy that's on media a lot. I know half my students when I was teaching were on media. And I think you could probably say that too. Like even in Hungary, same thing. So many kids are on media. Why don't we use that as a tool? And I think that's just what's so key.
Yeah, and I think that's either that somebody. I think there was a conference here at Word of Life, and they said we should reach the people where they are at.
I agree. Yeah.
We have to go to them.
Yeah.
And that's what Jesus did.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't just sit around and waited until people gathered around him. He was like, okay, here's this town. Let's go to the people.
Yeah.
And this is what we should do. People are at the internet all the time. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to the internet. Let's be there.
Yeah.
Because,
And I think too, and I've noticed this about like even my YouTube videos. Like I did one, about 2 months ago, once the whole Black Lives Matter and everything, and trying to figure that out for myself. And when I had a video with my buddy Quentin from Phoenix, who is a great Christian, great guy, I learned a lot. But the response from that, I realized there's so many people wanting to know answers. There's so many people wanting to know answers about the gospel. And I think what I love what they do is you guys, from what I could tell, obviously I don't speak Hungarian, but from what I know from talking with people, like you guys don't necessarily sugarcoat it. You talk about it, and because all three of you are very real, Adam, Donnie, and yourself, you're very real. You talk about what needs to be talked about, right? And I think that's what would you say has really helped, I think, keep this growing where there's more people all the time, is because you're not willing to just cut corners.
Yeah,
you're willing to say it.
And we are honest. Like there was an episode where we talked about sharing the gospel. And at some point, it was really good that Adam said, hey guys, don't listen to us like we're angels and like we are out there every minute of the day and sharing people the gospel with strangers, it's a real struggle for us too, but we know what should be done
as missionaries.
Yeah, as missionaries, and we just want to help others to at least try and to share the gospel. Yes, it's hard. It's hard for us. It's a reality. But just because it's hard, it doesn't mean we shouldn't do it.
And I think that's what's so interesting too. Like, I think it was funny because I remember you guys had the idea, or like Donnie's had the idea for like a year and a half or something like that. I can't remember. But it's funny how this idea that, again, you guys, I think we're all like, well, we'll see how it goes. And then crazy how God uses that and says, all right, COVID-19, not a problem. Let's throw this in there. Because again, back in April, we had no idea if we were going to have camp, what we were going to do. And I remember I would look at Mishi, I would go up to him and I'd be like, so what's the plan? He goes, no idea, and I think that was all of us.
Yeah,
and if you don't know, and I talked about a little bit on my recap of camp, we had a great number of what we could have of campers, an amazing 7 weeks, honestly. And Mishi can tell you this too. For some reason, and I don't know if it felt this way for you, it was just such a special 7 weeks this year. I know you have a couple amazing stories with that, personally, just with a couple individuals. But I know for me, I have always been on the other side. I've always been a American that comes for 2 weeks and leaves, right? And I think being able to sit there and just watch and to see you guys work and to see the behind the scenes. I was there beforehand, after. And it's just been very interesting to see how God can use individual people from all backgrounds to go for one purpose, And I think what's so cool when I watch these guys is that they don't just do something just to do it. There's always a purpose. There's always a mission. And I think that's what we all need to be. We all need to have that focus, that mission of, if we're not living for the gospel, if we're not going out every day trying to use our own lives as an example, then what are we doing, type thing. And so I have one question for you, is this: how do you think young people today, so our age, what have you noticed is the biggest need, other than the gospel? What is the biggest need for young people today to hear and to listen about God's word, or about what their lifestyle needs to be, that you've noticed from working with all these different youths?
Truth is the most important thing in our lives. Mm-hmm. Truth.
Yeah.
And we should never take anything as truth without any background check, if it makes sense. Mm-hmm. I don't believe the Bible to be true because it's true. No, I used to, yes.
Yeah.
And I believe, all of us at some point. Yes, all of us at some point. And I'm not saying that's wrong.
No.
But there should be a point at your life when you sit down and you question your beliefs. You don't doubt it, you question it. And you sit down, okay, evolution, I believe in evolution. Okay, is it really true?
Yeah.
Is it really correlating to reality? Do I really see it working? Are there any questions or problems with it? And you sit down and you make sure that the reason why you believe in it, and yes, you believe in it because it's not a fact still, it's a theory, because nobody saw it happen. Anyways, I'm a bit sorry.
No, yeah.
But you sit down, and I'm fine if you believe in evolution as long as you tell me the facts why you believe in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fine, that's good. I'll argue with you. I'll tell you my reasonings and why I believe that it's not true and why I believe that God exists. But as long as we seek the truth, I'm more open to accept people's different beliefs and opinions than just, well, God doesn't exist because evolution is true. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Why would one knock the other out? Like, yeah, God's existence should knock evolution out, but just because evolution is true, it doesn't mean there is no God.
Yeah.
And that's my big problem with science today. And I suggest you read Berlinski's Devil's Delusion book. I have to read it. I just read a little quote. It said, basically, just science is biased.
Yeah.
Science is biased, and they will never be able to prove that God doesn't exist, but they will cling to anything, any other explanation other than God, because God shouldn't exist. Therefore, okay, here's this explanation. Now we love this explanation because it explains something without bringing God into it. And so, that truth. Always seek truth.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard, but try to put feelings aside.
Yeah.
Just forget feelings. Go for the facts and reality, because feelings often
hinder.
Yes, and they are not really relating to reality. Like, I felt nobody loves me a lot of times. Is it true? No. And just to give you an example. So always seek truth. That's the biggest thing that I could tell people today. Yeah.
Seek truth.
Seek truth. Go for it and find it. And I believe you will find truth.
Absolutely. And so I love this guy. This guy has been a great friend of mine for many years. And as you can see, even today's episode of just the two just having fun, but we love the gospel. We love God's word. We love to share it. And so I would I'm going to finish up by letting him kind of give some ways you can follow him. You can ask him questions, or even if you want to support him as well. I'm going to leave all that in the linked up below, just so you guys can see what this guy's doing. This guy is on fire for the Lord. This guy is living for Christ, and I see it. His ministry is amazing. And so I just challenge you to hear those words that he has said, to live for Christ every day. I say it all the time on this podcast, but I'm glad I have someone else here too. It's been a while since I've had a guest, and to have somebody that I look at as a great friend, as someone I can talk to about anything, be able to be consistent in God's word, be consistent in what you believe, go out and share it with anybody you know. And that doesn't mean always verbally, but do it through your actions. And so, Mishi, what are a couple ways that people can follow you? Maybe a couple ways that they can get in touch with you, and then we'll finish up this episode.
If you want to follow me, this is how I look like from behind. So, okay. Oh, sorry.
That's a phone call. It's fine. No, keep it. It's fine. It's a phone call.
You won't edit it out, right?
No.
You're not gonna edit it out?
No.
Szia, apa. Igen. Hogy? Oké. Jó. Jó. Hát én is remélem, végig maszkba voltam, úgyhogy... Jó, oké. Jó, majd hívsz. Szia. It's better if you don't know what it was.
Hold on, I'm just gonna do this real quick. Keep talking.
What?
No, just keep going.
What?
This, by the way, is why I love Mishi, and this is why I knew this was gonna happen. I want to just, before we finish up, this is where I want to point out something. I knew something was gonna happen, like whether we would say something stupid or something like that. This is why I love this guy. I mean, it's just awesome. It's hard to explain unless you're like in our kind of core friend. I mean, because this is the way we all act. I mean, it's just, this is probably the most calm I think either of us have been in a conversation with each other in quite a while. Usually something crazy happens. But anyways, yeah. So you follow him by looking behind.
Or Facebook.
Yes, Facebook. So
Instagram.
So
I'm not really posting anything. So you can just send me an email or anything. And
I'll link that all below, so that way you guys have that. But if they are interested in supporting you, whether that's with prayer support or financial support, is that you have that as well, so where they can go their newsletter as well. You have a newsletter that goes out and that sort of stuff.
I'd say first just contact me and say, hey, I'm interested. If you just want to make like a special donation, that's fine. I appreciate it and I'll thank you for it. But even before, I'd like to know the people who are supporting me. and I like to get to know them. I want them to know me a little bit. It's just the way I like to do it. But it's, of course, it's up to you.
Yeah,
however,
and you like to feel that
yes,
close knit family
yes,
type atmosphere.
Exactly.
And so so this is I. Not only did I want Misi on here, and we had talked about it for months, and he's been nagging me more than I've nagged him. But I just wanted also to kind of have a fresh perspective of the podcast. I know he's on break, so I appreciate him coming in on his break away from ministry for a little bit. But even with that, I pray that this was ministry, and I hope that whoever's listening, if you are new, I pray that you I don't know where your walk is. I don't know where any of you's walk is. Whatever. I don't know where any of you are right now with God, but I pray that maybe these words that we've said today have brought encouragement to your day, or maybe just give you a laugh. But maybe had that sparked that desire to refocus, to kind of relook at your walk with God, because I know for both of us, it's not all crystal clear for our walks. We have a lot of ups and downs. I think sometimes when you hear a missionary, you think their life is perfect and awesome, but I can assure you, all of us here at Word of Life Hungry, we all go through ups and downs. I know a lot during COVID. We all had different emotions. We all had different feelings and such like that. So first off, I want to say thank you, Misi, for coming on. You're a great friend of mine, so I appreciate it. And finally, I just want to say a couple of things. First off, if you love this episode of the podcast, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to it online, go ahead and favorite it. Make sure it's kind of like in that zone where you can just log on when I upload once a week or two. I don't know how many times I'm going to upload. But once you do that, that's awesome. And if you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You'll be able to see all my other videos, which are like Friday recaps. I'm making a documentary, which will be coming out after I get back, so you'll have to stay tuned for that, which will make it really fun. And then also, I'm going to put Word of Life's, the Camp Word of Life's podcast. You won't be able to understand it if you're not Hungarian, but it'd still be cool to, I don't know, listen to another language. I don't know. But I'll put that below.
I just have
me
talking to my dad.
Yes, you did. So that's Hungarian as well. But below, I'll also put all of Word of Life's stuff. I'll put Mishi's stuff down there. So please go check it out. He's an amazing guy with a great heart for the Lord. And I'm truly excited to see what God is going to do with him in the future. Really am excited. And I want to remind you of this, that God is faithful and you can trust him. And as always, we'll talk next time. And what?
He loves you.
I love you.
Sometimes all the time. God, yes.
Yes.
God loves you sometimes all the time.
Does.
Because he's... Anyways, sorry.
Anyways, yes. Yeah. No, anyways, I just want to say thank you again so much for listening, for taking your time.
Oh, to them. Sorry.
To them. It's one of the two. But anyways, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.